Candlewick on Brilliance Audio presents Polo Cowboy by Neri, performed by James Shippey. Even at dawn, when the sunrise casts a pretty orange glow over Chester Avenue, our neighborhood looks run down. I mean, I ain't complaining. It's home for now, and we make do with what we got. Vacant garage, turned it into a stable. Using old plywood, doors, whatever. Empty lot becomes a corral. Boarded up house? Expand your crib, like Harp done by taking over the place next door, and by putting a hole in the wall for a door. Add a bedroom for your son by kicking out the horse you had living inside there. I don't know why I let Harp get me up so early on a Saturday, but a deal's a deal, his words, and I gotta pay the piper. Again, his words. He has a job for me, and in the past, that meant driving up to Bucks County, where the Amish live and raise horses. We go up there to buy feed or gear or check out an auction or two. So I figure I'll be loading stuff for some Amish dude all morning. But when we driving, instead of going up the interstate out of Philly, we cross the bridge over the highway into Fairmount Park. Where are we going? I yawn. I ain't eaten or had juice or nothing. But I figure we'll stop along the way and grab something. You'll see, he grunts. I know that game. When he says, you'll see, that mean he don't want to get into it. He'll just spring it on me and leave me before I can complain. I stare out the window at the park passing me by. We going to the Speedway? Not today. Okay. I know better than to push too much. We driving straight across the park now, past the tennis courts and pool, over the river to where there are wide open green pastures and the rich people like to sun themselves and have picnics. They get mad at us sometimes when we ride through and disturb their goings-on. Soon we at the other end of the park, and I see a big fancy sign on a fancy brick wall that surrounds a fancy neighborhood. Welcome to the Heights. What are we doing here? I ask. The Heights is in the opposite of our neighborhood, Strawberry Mansion. They should have called this Park Mansion, 'cause that's all that's here. Big houses with giant, perfect lawns, long driveways, and expensive cars. Some even got their own tennis courts. As we drive, the Heights starts to open up, and the properties get bigger. It's more country-feeling than Philly. Dang, look, they got horses. I point to some big-ass property with a white fence and expensive-looking horses galloping freely across an open field. Someday, he says. Right, when we hit the lotto, I gaze out at them horses. Man, that would be the life. We turn onto a leafy street, and there's an even bigger property that has a bunch of white brick buildings with Roman columns like you see in the movies. There's even some cannons facing out over the green hills. Man, somebody got too much money, I say. Well, hopefully they'll pay a decent wage for a kid who ain't never had a proper job. He points to a sign at the head of a long driveway. George Washington Military Academy. What the? Suddenly, I realize I've been scammed. Stop the car. He shakes his head, grinning. Relax, Cole.